Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister here today. I'm going to give you some the highlights of installing the CB antenna on a 2021 Goldwing on the new larger capacity trunk. I'm just going to hit the highlights here. People all the time ask me, where do I find you? Where do I find your products? This is Traxxion Dynamics. That's why I always start out under this banner. Our website is www.traxxion.com, spelled Traxxion. If you ever need to ask me a question, I'm max@traxxion.com. That's my email address. You can find me there. The CB antenna is 2021 year model specific. So we found that out right away. We had an antenna from the previous model and it doesn't fit at all. So there's a new set of instructions, new part number, new antenna. Honda did the thing again where they have you mark the cord in about a half a dozen places so that the references are gonna show you where you're going to put where you're gonna put tape and where you're gonna put zip ties and things like that. Then they have you cut up this piece of foam sticky stuff to hold the antenna down. Sorry, I'm here Saturday. I'm working by myself, so there's nobody here to run the camera. So what do you get? All the holes are pre-marked for diameter and everything, so you really can't hardly screw it up. This is a perfect place to use a uni-bit, which if you haven't seen it, or some people call them step drills. They're available anywhere. You can get them at Home Depot or whatever, but the plastic's really easy to work with. So there's 3 holes in the side panel, 2 for mounts and 1 for the cable. And then this is again the system where Honda has little plastic, little ridges raised in the plastic to indicate where the corner of the piece of tape is supposed to go, and then a line indicating the direction the cable is supposed to go. So this is the pathway Honda wanted on here. Actually, you can probably see that one pretty good. I don't know if I got enough light. Where's my finger? Here we go. There. You can see, hopefully you see the little ridges there. Anyway, I've had this put together for about a week, but this tape they use kind of peeling away already. I'm not a big fan of that, but and then so that's what you do to prep that. They've got these spacer hats that are going to go from inside the trunk out. You actually, those rubber grommets have sticky tape on them, and you stick them in place on these hats, prior to putting them through the trunk. And then you got to drill you got to remove obviously the painted trunk panel, and drill 2 holes into the side of the trunk. They're pre-marked, diameter's all marked, everything's nice there. Getting the cable routed in is a bit of a trick. So, assuming you've already installed a CB, hidden underneath here, here's a cover. You have to have the switch assembly down. There's the CB in there. That's a whole nother big job. So the switch is down so that you can pass the cable through. There's a hole hiding right down in here by this big rubber boot. Has a rubber plug. You pop the plug out, and then it'll feed down. It'll feed down through this hole in here, right in the top, and will plug into empty port in the CB. Looks like a traditional antenna cable you're used to seeing. And then a cover goes on the CB, the switch goes back up. Now, the painted trunk panel, one trick to the painted trunk panels is on this new bike, on the new trunk, you used to pull the speaker cover and the painted part as one assembly. Again, this is 2 pieces now. And the way it works is it slides forward to lock in, slides backwards to come out. It's a little awkward to do. Let me see if I can put this down and explain it a little. But you have to, actually I can do this better if I just raise this all up. Sorry about this. Here we go. There we go, clear up. The whole panel, you put it in place and slide it forward and it snaps in. There's 2 tabs back here you got to kind of keep an eye on. And then there's another one underneath here that if you miss it, it won't line up underneath smoothly on this seam here, and you'll know you've got it wrong, and you'll have to try. So it's almost a 3-handed job, but this seam here underneath, when you're done, check this, because if you miss the tab that interlocks with it, it'll look ugly and won't be right. And then from inside the trunk, you'll put the 2 special hats you made up, 2 bolts. That bolts the antenna on. That's pretty obvious. But there's also a strap that grounds the antenna. So that strap's going to go in the trunk. The bolts go through it, and then that uncoated piece in the corner that you see there's a special bolt that goes with that and takes the place of the trunk bolt, and that grounds the whole antenna to the subframe, which then the subframe is bolted to the main frame, and the leg bone is bolted to the knee bone, and all of so on. So, and that's kind of an overview of that. That part's, it's time consuming, but again, nothing super scary there. I might as well touch on the CB if I want, but real quick. But it just has a couple of screws and a big O-ring that hold it to the wall, and with a kind of a rubber strap that you put on. And then it comes with a sub harness that goes through, and they give you instructions on how to do that, how to plug it into the main unit in the back, and has it all set up so that plugs right into so it's plug and play more or less from there. And then, of course, to control it, you'll need a handlebar switch up on the left handlebar, and that's a whole nother product. So anyway, it's just an overview of trying to get the antenna in. Hopefully that helps if you're ever doing this job. My name's Max. Please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and share this with your friends who are planning on doing this accessory and this install. Thanks a lot.